Blood on the tissue at the floor of the train. Sun goes down to the church box. Beautiful paramount. Beautiful paramount.
This is the Roland VP-03. It's a recreation of the VP-330 synthesizer. It has a distinct sound. Usually I do demo stuff, but today I'm going to do a review. Actually got a lot of experience. I used to own a VP-330 MK1, and I got intimately familiar with how it works, and I authored my own VST plugin. It was a version of the 330 that was the same sounds, except it didn't have the vocoder section. So today let's just jump right into the review and see what I think about this interesting product. I think the vocoder is spot on. They even give you a gooseneck microphone, and it got this anchor built into the case. It's extremely sturdy. You know, kudos for the construction there. Again, the sound of the vocoder is just spot on. It's just amazing. It's exactly the sound that you would expect from, you know, the recreation of the 330. They give you a lot of controls for the pitch. You have a manual, which allows you to statically control the pitch up or down, and it will stay wherever you leave it, and you can set that here with this, and so you can set it to some interval if you wanted to. It also has a glide type effect, so you know, these are the features that were on the original. You can make that glide be longer or shorter. And that's exactly like on the original. You also have another tune knob up here in the corner. And unlike the original, you know, you could go down one octave only, and that was it. But this one has much, much more range, which, you know, I don't know if it's all usable. I think dogs can hear that when it goes up that high. Also, the human voice sounds are really good. Bandpass filters that makes that sound are spot on. The ensemble circuit is spot on. And you can turn it on and off just like you could on the original. The string sounds really nice too. I find that the tone, when it's all the way up, it sounds a little more digital. I like the dark string. Which brings me to the envelopes. The envelopes, to me, are not as good as the original. I think the original had more of a logarithmic or exponential type curve, where they would die away fast but then start tapering away slowly. The release time, I got this maxed out, as you can hear. And so that's pretty good. Well, now that I've got it maxed out, I see that's just fine. The vibrato section here is just like on the original. It sounds really good. You can make it as deep as you want. You can have the delay time. So having these features on here is just wonderful. Also, the throws of these sliders are much, much better than, say, on the JP-08. Those were just too tiny. This one has only 6 voice polyphony. The original had full paraphony, which means you could have all the notes down and you wouldn't lose any of them. That's fine with me. 6 voices, I can definitely work with that. One of the downsides to modeling this after voices rather than a divide down circuitry of the original is that the voices they're not phase locked. The result of this is that when you play octaves, you start to get this weird buzzing sound. And it just doesn't sound good. Yeah, you can change the way that you play to work around that. I like to play octaves, and when I hear that buzzing sound, it's just kind of annoying, you know? It's so close. Like, they got the sound, they got the filters, they got the ensemble perfect, but let me show you what I'm talking about. Here's the plugin that I made. It doesn't use any samples, so you can hear what the octaves sound like on it. Very nice. This is what the VP-03 sounds like. So you get that buzzing sound. I think I know why Roland did that. You know, full paraphony with the phase-locked oscillators would have just taxed the CPUs too much. But it wouldn't tax the CPU too much, I think, in a future update if they wanted to add phase lock to their... simply add phase lock to the 6 voices that it does have. And that way that buzzing sound would be greatly diminished. Take it from me. It has a built-in 16-step sequencer, so you can loop up to 16 steps if you want to. You can also insert and delete notes. You can have ties. You can also synchronize to MIDI. I have this. Let's plug it in and see what happens. I love me some TR8. I'm just going to plug the MIDI input to this, coming from the MIDI out of that. That's all I'm going to do. And by default it should be in automatic sync mode, which means it will play from its own internal tempo until it receives an external clock from something else. Let's see what happens. Okay, I've programmed a little sequence into this one, and I've got my pattern set up on that one. Let's just hit start and see what happens. So far it's already in synchronization with the VP-03 and the TR8. So if I turn up the tempo on that, actually kind of fun. So it maintains synchronization even though I'm changing tempo. What a deal. So that frees up. Maybe you have a beat step and you've already used all of the tracks on your beat step and you want another 16 steps. You can sequence without using up your sequencer. Pretty cool. In summary, I think the VP-03 is an amazing value for what you get. It's a dream come true, actually, for anyone who has wanted to own the VP-330 but never had the money or means to do it. And even someone such as me who did have it at one time had to, for one reason or another, sell it and part ways with it. Here it is, for a fraction of the price. Can't beat that. Great sound. You know, a couple of things aside, I think overall this is an amazing unit and I'm going to be getting much use out of it. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this.
Charlie! Hey, Charlie, wake up! Yeah, Charlie, you silly sleepyhead, wake up!